My fiancé suddenly broke up with me, but the real shock came when I threw her out of my house and asked her to return the engagement ring. She looked at me like I'd lost my mind. You can't just kick me out, Charles. I have nowhere to go. But here's what she didn't know. I'd already figured out why she really broke up with me. See, Lorraine dumped me last week claiming my restaurant job hours were incompatible with marriage, said we never spent time together anymore, which was weird because she knew my schedule for 4 years. Then I found her phone unlocked on the counter, messages with her coworker Jackson, months of them, talking about how she was working up the courage to leave me, how my family's restaurant was beneath her, how Jackson's corporate job made him husband material. The kicker? She'd been planning to stay in my house until she could move in with him, using me as a free place to crash while monkey branching to her upgrade. But it gets worse. I kept reading those messages and found out she'd been telling Jackson I was basically a glorified waiter and that she was embarrassed to bring him around because my family didn't have class. This woman ate dinner at my parents' table every Sunday for 3 years. My mom taught her how to make pasta from scratch. My dad gave her his grandmother's recipe for marinara sauce, and she was calling us classless behind our backs. The messages went back 8 months. 8 months of her planning her exit strategy while I was saving every penny for our wedding. While I was working double shifts to pay for the honeymoon she wanted in Italy. She even sent Jackson photos of our house, asking if he thought it was nice enough, or if they should look for something better when they moved in together. My house, that I bought with money I saved working at that beneath her restaurant. The worst part? She'd been using our joint credit card to buy Jackson gifts, expensive cologne, designer shirts, even concert tickets. I thought she was just treating herself to some retail therapy during wedding stress. No, she was courting her replacement with my money. So when she refused to leave, saying she needed time, I called her parents, told them everything, sent screenshots of every message, every lie, every insult about my family. Her dad showed up 20 minutes later with a truck and the angriest expression I'd ever seen. Her mom was crying in the passenger seat. "Where's the ring, Lorraine?" he asked before she could even explain. She tried to protest, claiming I was being vindictive and that breakups happen. But Daddy wasn't having it. Turns out he'd not only helped me pick out that ring, but he'd contributed $3,000 toward it as an early wedding gift. "You don't get to keep a family heirloom when you've been cheating on the family," he said. Family heirloom? I didn't know that part. Apparently the center stone was from his grandmother's ring, reset in a modern setting. Lorraine had specifically requested something with history. The irony wasn't lost on any of us. She handed it over, tears streaming, begging me to work things out, and saying Jackson didn't mean anything to her, that she'd made a mistake and we could go to counseling. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "You made your choice 8 months ago. Jackson's waiting." Her dad loaded her stuff while she sobbed on the front lawn. The neighbors definitely got a show that day. Mrs. Davenport from next door even brought me a casserole later and said, "Good riddance." But the real satisfaction came 3 days later when Jackson called me. Yeah, you read that right. Jackson called me. Turns out Lorraine had been telling him I was abusive and controlling, and that she was afraid to leave me. When he found out the truth, that she'd been living in my house rent-free while planning to move in with him, he freaked out. "Dude, she's been lying to both of us," he said. "I thought you knew about us and were okay with it because you were, quote, emotionally unavailable anyway." She'd been playing us both, making me out to be the villain in her sob story while positioning herself as the victim who just needed saving. Jackson ghosted her the next week. Apparently finding out your new girlfriend is a manipulative liar who maxed out credit cards kills the romance pretty quick. I also found out from a mutual friend that Lorraine had to move back in with her parents at 28. After telling everyone she was upgrading her life situation, the ring, I returned it to her dad, who insisted I keep the money I'd put into it. Said it was the least he could do after raising someone who'd treat people like that. I bought my dream motorcycle instead, a beautiful Harley that I take out every weekend. Best decision ever. Now when people ask why I'm single, I just rev the engine and ride away. The freedom feels incredible after 4 years of walking on eggshells around someone who secretly despised everything about my life. Sometimes the trash takes itself out, but occasionally you have to help it find the curb.